Thanks for joining us here on Focus in Africa from BBC World News. The African Union has called for an immediate ceasefire and talks over the crisis in Ethiopia's northern region of Tigray, saying it's following the escalation of military confrontation there with concern. The Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed insists the operation, which began a week ago, is necessary to install law and order in the country. Meanwhile, the leader of the Tigray region, Debretsion Gebremichael, has accused Eritrea of invading the territory and attacking local forces. That's a claim which Eritrea denies. Well, for more on this, let's speak to Mustafa Ali. He's from the Horn International Institute for Strategic Studies and joins me now from Nairobi. Mustafa, what do you make of this statement from the AU today? Many have labelled it as rather tame.
Yeah, it is tame. Ethiopia is spiraling down the road of anarchy. And if AU is not going to act quickly, then we will have a problem in our hands for the entire region. Ethiopia, with a population of more than 110 million, if this conflict is going to get deeper, and then we see the Oromo region and the other regions are getting into some kind of instability and another armed confrontation, that we are staring at a disaster here in the Horn of Africa.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the whole Horn of Africa there. The government in Tigray has accused Eritrea just today of getting involved in the conflict. Is there any proof of this?
Peter, Eritrea was definitely going to be involved in the fight in the north. Eritrea is not going to sit by. These countries, Eritrea and Ethiopia, have been fighting, and Afewerki will want to meddle in the internal affairs of Ethiopia. And it's not just Eritrea, Peter. Sudan is the other country that we might see siding perhaps with the Ethiopian government. And we don't know yet what's going to happen perhaps with South Sudan. Ethiopia is deep in the messy politics of Somalia. The elections in Somalia are coming up in the next 2 or 3 months, and the kind of challenges that we see in Somalia itself at the hands of Ethiopia paints a very gloomy picture for the Horn of Africa.
A very gloomy picture, which you're painting there for us, Mustafa. There have also been reports of a refugee situation building up around the border with Sudan. We hear that 2,500 people might have crossed over. What do you know about this?
Well, now more refugees, more than 3,000, have crossed over from Ethiopia, a Tigrayan side, into Sudan. And this is just the beginning. I think if this conflict is not going to be stopped, if AU is not going to intervene at this time with the help of the United Nations Security Council, shortly we will be seeing refugees in the hundreds of thousands, and they will be coming down south to Kenya. Very few will go to Sudan, South Sudan, or Djibouti. Majority of those refugees will be coming down to Kenya. And it will be a very difficult thing, in particular
Mustafa,
for Kenya, which has been receiving refugees already and hosting thousands of refugees from
Indeed.
Somalia.
So, Mustafa, what can be done? You've mentioned the African Union, you've mentioned the United Nations, IGAD is there. What can be done when both sides refuse to sit down and talk?
I think IGAD should immediately call for an extraordinary summit. If they don't do that, and this is within the domain of IGAD, if IGAD is not going to do that, and if regional leaders are not going to take action at this point, then it's going to be a disaster. I know Abiy Ahmed has said no to external interference. Abiy is saying that all is well, but it is not well, Peter.
Okay, Mustafa Ali from the Horn International Institute for Strategic Studies there, speaking to me from Nairobi. Thank you very much for your insight into this story. Let's take a